while you do that, take a listen. Listen. Let me see if as I look on the camera, it's too dark. It's too dark. Just trying stuff out here. I'm gonna turn off some of these other lights. 1 second. It's not bad. I feel like this could be moved over this way a little more. So you can see it a little bit better. There you go. Alright, cool. Okay, so sample like a 2-bar of a end of a record. This is that this sound here is from a record. Just turn. Well, you can leave that on. It really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna solo out this portion here. I don't do a lot of sampling, so. But this was like at the end of a record. Coltrane record that I like, and hopefully I won't get copy strike for that. We'll find out though, right? But it's such a small part. I thought it wouldn't be that bad. I'm not gonna. I mean, obviously I'm gonna play it with the backing, with the track over it. I built the bass over it and some chords that I just liked over it. That sound anything like what the record sounds like, really, but we'll see how that goes. Sampling is tricky. Just to give me some drums. I was gonna put some of my own drums over it, but sometimes I'm using like a sample just to start for an inspiration. Try to get going, right? And then Cool. Hey, someone let me know if you can hear the volume good. Let me know if you can hear the volume. Let's put some effects on this. Maybe some Valhalla delay on this guitar, just to give it something different. I'll mess around with a few sounds. Not that. There we go. There's some guitar stuff. Ooh, that's big. There's too much soloing going on there. I gotta find something a little cleaner than that. Tape heaven, guitar slap. Let's try this one. It's too much. Let me take out some of it. There we go. Still too much. I want to bring out a little more. So coming up with different sounds for soloing. So otherwise, you play the same thing over and over. It'll get boring. So doing that, and then sometimes just figuring out what you can add into this. You could maybe some strings. I was gonna do brass at first, to be honest, but I'm gonna do some strings. Just something. What? Thank you for no, I don't need a tour of a app. That's weird. All right. Let's see what I have in the Arturia stuff. Eesh. Powerful overtures. You can do some cool stuff like some trippy jazz. up, Sim City? Oh dang, I didn't even see that. I gotta get on that. I think, or did I see that? I may have seen it and thought it was something older that you did. That's probably why I didn't get on. Oh wait, no, you were streaming. When you streaming earlier though? Yeah, I thought you were streaming earlier. Huh? You been on that long? I felt like that was earlier when I was busy doing something. And then what in the world? That ain't definitely not what I'm looking for. I'm looking through Arturia's. It's nearly 4. Oh Lord, 4 a.m. Yeah, you should go. Probably get some sleep, man. That's yeah, that's definitely. It's only like 7:36 here, so in the evening. So yeah, sometimes yeah, it's rare I do it late night, but I was just like messing around with a sample, listening to some records or whatever, and then I got the itch to just get on and try something. So I was like, you know what? Usually when I get on, I've already finished half the song anyway. But I was like, well, I'll just kind of get on with a little bit of a sample. This ain't a sample. Well, the first part is a sample, but the chords are me and the bass is me. Yeah. You should probably get some rest though. I totally get that. I might just add in some of these. I'm just looking for some strings to add in. That's all. So I gotta make another track. I keep forgetting to do that. So make another track. And go to the mixer. And I probably don't even need to do this, because I'm not recording the MIDI anyway, so yeah, I don't even have to do that. Save me some time. Go back to the arranger. This don't really sound good without. Let me play it again. It sounds weird because it sounds too, maybe a bit too modern, too paddy like, I guess. What happened to the strings I was on? I thought I was on something that was better. Not that. Yeah, trying to find some strings. Oh Lord. Yeah. I'm looking for something that fits a jazz old sound kind of vibe, because that's what I'm feeling at the moment. And this ain't it. Inspired. That's well, that sounds very like orbiting, Earth orbiting. It's called Earth orbit. It's funny. And then that is getting very synthy sounding. And these are supposed to be like, but I guess this is part of the deal. Sweet Velvet. Might be fine if it's tucked in the track, I guess. Let's see. Sympathy? Nah, definitely not. Soft air, soft side. Let's go back. Sometimes you can put something that don't sound the best in there and it'll still make it. But when you're recording straight to audio, you gotta hit it. It's gotta be the one. It's not like with MIDI where you can go back and change the sound. So you gotta find the one and commit to it. So if you ever wanted to get an OP1 field, well, first of all, I'm gonna say don't do it unless they're gonna give you a nice discount on one. But yeah, you got 4 tracks. So imagine taking your MPC and saying, okay, you don't have 8, you only got 4. And you have to figure out in 4 tracks and their audio, and you can't see the wave, how you gonna make that thing sound good. So I'd say take a DAW and limit yourself to 4 audio tracks. If you ever get the itch for one of those things, and then see if you can commit yourself. You have to do it in 4. And you have to record over what you already have there. So you can't be like, I'm gonna use these other 4 tracks and then I'm gonna, nope, you gotta do it all in 4 and figure it out. So anybody that ever says OP1 feel, now I've had them and I enjoy using it for a little while, but it's definitely a interesting little thing. It's nothing that I would advise somebody to go get, just because of the limitations. I'm kind of over limitations. Like, people think limitations make you better. And I get the whole concept behind that, but I'll be honest with you, limitations don't make me better. I'm still playing the same music that I'll play whether I had the limitation or not. I'm just now frustrated because I have a limitation. That's all that does. Okay, now I'm trying to legit find this. There we go. Augmented strings. When did I start making music? I started making music young. I was probably, well, we used to, like, when I couldn't afford anything, obviously I was a kid, we used to like make our own little instruments and try to play. So back then we were just trying to emulate what it was to make music. I learned piano in college, but didn't really stick it. Well, I would do it all the time, but I didn't really like do it like I wanted to. Then I started really wanting to make music, and I just dedicated myself to playing piano at first, and then jumped to guitar. Then I spent years on guitar, and then went from guitar to bass, and now I just do a little bit of everything. So, but my dad was a trumpet player, so I guess in some way, and I have other family that are musicians, so I kind of grew up around it a little bit, but that don't mean anything if you don't really take to it. So you got to work on it. Because my dad don't play anymore. He just, when he was younger. He sound very cinematic. We could try it, but I mean, I could just play that in, but I can't go back. So if I don't like the sound, it's over. Gorgeous. That's what that's called. Gorgeous. Yeah, a lot of music people in the family, for sure. My cousin's a musician too. She wrote some hit records back in the 90s. So I won't tell you who it is, though, just because I don't want to be putting people's information out. They don't want me to tell it, you know? But anyway, yeah. And then I have some other families that are famous for music too, that I'm not going to even talk about right now, because they don't like you to talk about them. But again, none of that means anything if you don't practice and make music. So you can have some of the best musicians in your family, and if you don't ever engage in it and enjoy it, you won't do it. So none of that means anything. Man, strings are really hard to do. For me, at least. I'm like, I don't use them often, but then sometimes you're like, man, this would be cool. Nope. I think it's the searching through all these different presets that are, it's insanity how many presets are in this um, augmented thing, and you don't know until you, that's definitely not happening. I guess you just commit. All right, maybe I'll commit to that. Let's just play something and we'll see what it goes about. want to just do something very free forming. I don't want to do something that's strict to make. In other words, I don't want these strings to have to be like, oh, they have to be this key. I mean, this note or whatever. I'm gonna stay within the key, of course, but so I am going to go ahead and just commit to this sound and play it. If you want to edit it, touch this one and turn the levels up. One thing I was thinking about too, if you're going to commit to this type of workflow where you're using audio too, don't be afraid to go back over parts. Like if this volume is too loud here compared to that and you want to adjust that volume, one thing you can do is split the audio here. So go ahead and split it and then adjust this one separately. Now in Ableton, what I can do is I can bounce all that back together. So maybe I want that one like at 3 because it's a little too loud for my taste. Now I feel like they're equal. And then you can join them. Now here I don't know, and I don't see anything that tells me I can join these pieces of audio back together. So I'm stuck with 2 pieces of audio. Do you feel like you're getting more friendly with the arrangement? Oh yeah, absolutely. Does it feel more? Yeah, it does, but there's still little things that I don't know. Mind you, in a desktop DAW, you can easily just put these 2 pieces of, I was just saying it, put these 2 pieces of audio back together. Like if I need to lower one side, I'll just slice it, put this back together, and then glue them, join them together. I think in Logic, they say join. In Ableton, it's consolidate, right? So that's something that I want to be able to do after I realize, okay, here, cool, I lowered this volume, but now I want this to join together. Is that possible? And the answer is, I don't know. You can't, I see here's a cut and paste and a copy and all that, and those are great. Solo, I mean, I don't know why I would need that, but if I touch 2 pieces of audio, it would be cool to be able to hold a button, hit join, and then join the 2 pieces. And again, I don't see where that's possible. It looks to me like once you do what I just did, you have 2 pieces of audio, right? You see them here? So I think that is a bit frustrating. So there's a erase, clear, trim, but there is no way to join these 2. I guess, can you bounce it? Wait, can you bounce it down? Those? Oh, you know what? Flatten to track, bounce to sample. I bet you that's it. Make a coin join button. Yeah, that would be easier. I guess flatten track. Let's see, flatten track. Let's just do it. This is how you learn, right? Just press the button and do something. There it is. So it is in there. Well, I think it is. Hold on, go to here. I need to expand it so I can see what it's doing. Oh, it makes it longer. Why is it making it longer? Well, at least it put it back together. So let's go in here and see now. I guess we'd have to go in and then cut it again. Hopefully it didn't change how the length of it. It would have been nice if it just joined it, but I guess they're trying to put the tail end of it out there in case you need it. That could work, but all right, touch the audio, split again, touch this one, and then since they don't do shift delete, you just go shift cut here, and now you're back to 16. So that seems to work. And then I don't want 22 bars, so I'll definitely be changing that. We're going back to 16. for right now. There you go. So that's how you do it. So hold the track. It's a little confusing because it shouldn't be, in my opinion, here. It should be more in the if you're going to edit in one, just keep all the editing of that portion in there versus that flattened track. But hey, you know what? It works. I'm not going to complain. So go back in. Now it's all together back the way it should be. Let's make sure it still plays the same. Okay, worked. So there you have it. Another tool. Hold this, flatten track, and then it will do it. Flatten track elastic, I think. I don't really know what that is doing, okay? I don't know the difference. I need to look that up. Flatten track should be just what it is. It's like, you just flatten it. The only problem with flatten track is, and I don't know this for a fact because I haven't checked, but sometimes when you do a flatten track, at least in a DAW, when you do it, if you're on the mixer, and um, let's say you have effects on that mixer. So if I had effects on that channel, which I don't, then it might flatten and incorporate whatever sound is on the mixer. I don't know for a fact. I'm just saying there's a good possibility that could happen. So just be mindful of that. You might want to flatten uh, without effects on it if you really don't want to bake those effects into your actual audio. So hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying. But I know on Ableton, like if you flatten a track, if you freeze flatten, it'll basically bake everything on the everything on that particular channel will bake into the audio. So if you don't want that, do not do that until you check it first. Maybe make a duplicate track or something. That's another thing here. Check this out. So let me show you something that I know. So let's say I just want a duplicate track with this particular thing. What's up, Luha? 4 a.m. gang. Yeah, you can flatten pads too. Okay. Correct. Same thing. So here's the issue I have. If you flatten, tell me what's the difference between flatten track versus flatten track elastic. I'm guessing that elastic Q or whatever. I don't know what that means. Are they saying one of them is flattening with your samples, or what does that mean what's the difference between those two? I don't want to mess up my track. I know you can undo, but I don't want to mess the track up just to figure it out. But flattened track seems to be okay. I think it just flattened and it was fine. Time stretch. Oh. So, that's interesting. I guess I'll have to figure out why in the world would I time stretch it if it's already... Oh, the audio will follow. Oh, when you change... Oh, okay. So you change the tempo of something. Okay, that makes sense. Got it now. Okay. So if I change the tempo, then it's gonna... And I flatten... I want to do it by using that one versus the flattened track is just two pieces where you chopped up some pieces and you just want them to merge them back together. That's basically what I'm thinking based on what I'm seeing here. You know what I did? I broke my own rule. You always... Rule number 1. Name your tracks. This is sample, jazz, drum. All right, this one is the chords, and the key is C minor. I think I did it in C minor. It's the bass. This is highly important, especially when you work on audio. How in the world are you gonna know what wave that is? This one is... It's called Gorgeous. It's so funny. Strings. Ensemble. I think I'm spelling this right. Yeah. And I'm going to put the preset name. You don't have to, but sometimes I can remind you later if you need to go back and find out what you used. So that these are just, this is tidying up. And I'm going to do Arteria. Oh, I ran out of space. That's okay. I will just put Gorgeous. That's fine. I'll know it's Arteria later, I'm sure. If I look back at it 2 years from now, huh? Probably won't, but it is what it is. Flat keeps the effects. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have. Okay, that's good. Oh, you said I think. Well, I don't have any effects on it unless they're in whatever's already in the preset of what I'm using to play. So if there are, we'll have to find out. That's a good question though. Does it keep the effects, or does it flat? So a flattened elastic cue or whatever is the one that time stretches when you flatten. It has to keep the effects then on the other one because neither one would do that, would bake the effect in. I think that would be weird if they did bake it in, especially being that you only have 8 tracks, and then how would you bake those effects in the first place? Anyway, I don't know. In a real DAW, I'm gonna say you get the effects baked in, so it just depends on the situation. Change tempo. So it's for changing a tempo. Okay, so that's different. Interesting. I'm sure there'll be another question that'll come along here as we play. So, or as I'm. Okay, so let's see here. Move those up, and then you can get another track. So this is just a bass, some chords, some strings, and a little 2-bar drum riff. That's really all that is. It's 2-bar drum riff, right? And some jazz drums. So nothing really major going on, but you can see how easy you can put together a little song getting started, and then you could always go back and do your drums over if you don't like that drum sample riff that you got. You can go and start building some drums over those and then get rid of that later if you wanted to. Just the options. And I keep forgetting that I really don't need this MIDI track, I don't believe. But the only purpose of having that MIDI track, I originally had that MIDI track in, was so that I would be able to keep I was going to record the MIDI in with the audio, but it's kind of pointless, I think. Delete that track. Because now that I have this, I really don't need it. All right, so let's do a drum track. We'll do a drum track in here, and we'll go get some samples. So this is the one time I found so far that you kind of have to leave the arranger if you haven't already set up drums and go out and find yourself some drums. It's just what it is. That's okay though. I mean, this is part of it. And this is not real jazz drums, but anyway, I don't know why this person put jazz on this. This is fine. See what's in here. They sound very processed. They sound worse than the lo-fi drums I got. I ain't made a track in the arranger yet. I need to step my game up. I've been doing more live performances on my stream. Yeah, honestly, it just depends. We'll try this here. Load it. It's not that complicated. If you play music and you make tracks, or you have, I think in your case, from what I know of you, SimCity, you have programs. So that should make you be able to speed through making tracks pretty quick. I'm not really using programs at all. It's something I've never really engaged in because I tend to want to just go with whatever that vibe is right there. Whereas if I have programs, I'll be feeling like I'm stuck to using just that. And I'll have to go through a ton of programs just to get there. I I'm gonna put 2 samples here just because I don't know which one I want more than the other one. But yeah, so that's. I tell you what, the samples in One Shot are much better than most of the samples I got. We'll take this little Miles. It says Miles. I'm assuming he sampled that from a Miles Davis record. And we'll take. Let me try that. Load it. I actually don't. I don't really like this sample at all. I'm gonna load that one there. These little side sticks are nice for. All right, we'll rock with that. Let's go grab some hats. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Little light hats. This guy mixed in loops with, I guess you could always chop it up, but I don't want to do all that. I'm lazy chopping, get it? I don't want to do all that. Anyway, all right, that was silly. Little dad joke, I guess. All right, let's just do some recording here. Got the metronome? Yes, we do. Turn that thing on. And we'll go back to, see, I'm here and now I get confused. I gotta wait, I gotta go back. All right. Why is my metronome not ticking while I'm playing? I can do all that because I don't know what in the world is going on. Oh, there it is. I hear it. Yeah. I feel like these drums are weak sauce, but whatever. Lift the Noise does some really nice drum rolls. Yeah, he does. He does do some nice drum rolls. He I have his first kit, not the recent one, but the first one, which is the older one. I don't use note repeat often either. I should try that out sometime. I mean, I do occasionally use it, but not often anymore. That swing on that jazz sample is pretty nice. I like the swing on it. I'm not a drummer, so it's harder for me. I have to really concentrate when I'm doing drums. So, and this tempo is not a tempo I play in 106, so I'm usually in a slower tempo. So I'm trying to fill this out. Struggling. Like using 16 levels for dynamics. Yeah, absolutely. 16 levels. You're talking about for the... I do, and this sample is so weak though. Let me go in and edit these samples because I feel like this sample is super weak. Like for this track, I feel like it's getting lost in the sauce for sure. Okay, so I need to do velocity. Man, that's as high as it goes. I may have to see if I can just put like a couple of them in there. Yeah, do something like that to strengthen the sample. You can layer up to 8, so why not, right? All right, let's do that with the kick too, because the kick's kind of weak. Soft acoustic. No, we don't want that. I'll put the soft acoustic on this one and just do it a few times and then we'll see. Soft acoustic. We'll see which one sounds right. The snare always hits. I don't know why, but these snares are just, you can take any snare just about. You can zoom in here too, by the way, in case you didn't know that. This is such a cool feature. Being able to just adjust the sample here. This sample is already, I'm gonna just leave that one there. Well, no wonder it feels late. That's weird. I guess because it's stacked samples. So let me see something here. That's the only issue. It looks like if you stack the sample, you can't, how do you see the other sample so that you can adjust all of them? And why won't it? See, if you don't adjust all the samples that way in the thing, you got to go somewhere back to the edit, I guess, and go to, where is it? Okay, so here, right here, you got to go in and adjust all of them. Otherwise, they're going to be off. All right. This one only has one, so I'm not so worried about it. So this is the same principle here. Layer 3. You're going to layer them. Double tap up top. You can select multiple pads to edit or all. Oh, you talking about up here? Double tap here. Double tap at the top. Let's see what you're talking about. Are we talking about in the edit screen? The icon. That? No, that's the... 3 icons. Okay, so here's the 3 icons. Nope, that's the flatten. This is showing the curve. Is that the one right here? This one right here where he shows multiple? The last one. Oh, that's all. That's multiple. That's current. This one right here. Tap pad. This one right here. Oh, okay. This one where it says pad, then you do slice and then do all of them. Is that what you mean? Yeah, last one. Zero snap is on. This one, all of them. The page you just on. Okay, so the one that says all. Edit all zones. Yeah, but why would I? When it says edit all zones, I don't. Are you? Or is that really what I want to do? Nothing now when you edit. $11.28. I guess I should make sure all these are on the same one. 11.06, because they're not all on the same one. They're all different. Let me see. This is crazy. All right, 11.06. It will edit everything the same. So if you go all pads. Okay, so but does that change? See, because this one's different. 19. What was the previous one edited on? See, this one says 1958. All right, so 2028. I don't know. I don't see it. Oh, shoot. I can't get this stupid thing. Okay, there we go. I had to go in and manually start them at the same point. We'll leave that one alone. Now when you edit, it will edit everything the same. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. We'll try. What are we doing here? All right, cool. So hopefully that is... Oh, okay, I see right here. Look, you can change the layer. Totally missed that. Look at that, it's right there. So no matter what layer you're on it. All right, cool. Let's just see if we can get some rhythm on. All right, I'm gonna do the snare by itself first. Go back into... I keep forgetting it's right here, Ben. I gotta learn, right? Just to make sure I do it the same way. This is where I wouldn't mind clips, because if I wanted to do like I usually don't do just a 4-bar, but for these drums, I wouldn't mind just doing a 4-bar. So I'm gonna do 4, and then I'm gonna duplicate them, because that'll be easier just for what I'm trying to do. I'm just overlaying some drums over what's already there, so. That's it. All right. Overdub, play start. That's good. All right. Overdub hats. All right, that's fine. So all I'm gonna do is go in. I wonder if I had the thing on quantize. No, I did not. Okay, good. Because I was gonna add some swing to it. So I'm just gonna go select all. I believe he said, yeah, it's in there. And then I'm going to go ahead, turn this on, and add about 65 on the swing. And we're gonna try that out, and we're gonna go do it. Okay, I like that. It's close. It's 1 or 2 notes off, no big deal. In fact, I'll go ahead and fix that now though, because I don't want to do it across the whole thing. Let me go back and listen one more time. I heard something that fell off. Okay, so I like, this is just me personally, to quantize this one 100%. Let's see if it locks it in. I feel like it's not locking it in, but it may be, and I'm just imagining wrong. All right, play it. Okay, it's those last, I think it's these last, what's throwing me off is these hi-hats right here. So I'm gonna fix that right now. There, now they should be locked in. There we go. Now I feel better with that. Just a little bit off. All right, let's see where we're at. Just gonna take a glance before I start duplicating all this stuff. All right, so again, select all. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you have to place this, because if I could be wrong, but let's do that. Paste. You know what? I didn't copy. You might be good to copy, right? Copy it, paste it. There we go. Did that paste in the right spot? Up to 8. Yeah, it did. Okay, cool. Select all. This is pretty quick. It's getting better. I'm having to remember to look up here though to paste. All right, cool. So that should be 16. And it's not 16 because it's just pasting 1. I forgot to do the select all again, so that's okay. So we'll just go up here, put this on 13, and we'll go select, paste, and we're good now. You can always go back and take stuff out, like you should have said, erase stuff and all that. So. You know, it'd be dope if, well, I'm not a vocalist, so, but it would be cool if I could actually kind of scat over my own stuff. You know, some like, who is that? Al Jarreau or some, uh, who does that good? George Benson does really good job on that kind of stuff, like a little scatting over your stuff. Throw some other little. Yep. So that's where I'm at, right? Messing around, some jazz ideas. Just I went through my moment of cinematic for a good, felt like it was like a year, but it was just months. I'd always loved it, but now I'm kind of drifting back to my roots of jazz and R&B, which is where I am. And then I'm gonna start eventually. I think I want to like incorporate, and I need to learn house. But every time I get ready to learn house music, I get I get bored and go right back because it is a lot of repetitiveness in it, and I gotta figure out a way to tweak it if I'm gonna do house to make it more me and add some jazz sounds with the house. Turn the metronome off so we don't have to hear that. Let's put some what y'all think? If you could do jazz music on here and whatever, then right, the MPC is just the dopest sequencer. That's just what it is, right? You can play anything on this thing, I believe. I've seen people do other stuff, so it would be cool as I grow on it and learn a little bit more. I'm gonna keep adding to different ways to make more better music on it, and we learn little by little and help each other out. So it's pretty cool. Everybody's joining in. It looks like we got about 5 people. I'm the sixth person because I have to look at it to be able to see your comments coming through as they do live, so I can try, because I hate that they put a lag on my screen that I'm recording through. So even if I could see it, I'd be getting the comments late. So at least looking at it from an iPad, I get to answer you quicker, hopefully quicker then. All right, let's record a solo. Why not? That'll be fun. I'm gonna go ahead and do all the naming right now. Guitar with delay. So see, I'm using Valhalla delay, which is just my favorite delay, by the way, in case you're wondering, but not that you really were. But let's go here. So let's just record and see. I just like to play on the solos. I never try to plan these at all, by the way. But we're going to start over on that one. This thing is super loud. Hold on. Let me check volume levels on here because this joker is loud. I'm gonna tame it. I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. Is that the right word? No, that's not the right word. I'm gonna turn it down. I was gonna say tone it down, but no, that's not it. I'm gonna turn it down. All right, here we go. Try this again. Nope. It's okay to start over. This will be one of the ones I may go back in. The only thing I'll do editing wise is probably get the volumes better. That part to me would drive me crazy. I do like that you can double tap, go straight into the edit menu, so I don't have to keep sliding up stuff. That's kind of nice. But yeah, the volumes on some of the, oops, what in the world? On some of the solos, I gotta go back to here. I keep moving stuff around. I might do, because I started a little loud and then I get softer right here. I wanna go a little, I might adjust some of these parts. Like there, I want that to be louder. I can tell that already. So what I'm gonna do is go here, and I'm gonna use the split feature, and I'm gonna go ahead and split every part so I can just work on them, and then I'll just join them back together once I'm finished. So we'll go to 9. So this is getting quicker for me because I'm thinking about how I'm gonna improve on like just navigating through this. So if a note is this off, not this off, but you're gonna have some off notes. I'm just playing freely. I'm not trying to stress it. I'm not so much worried about it. I'll figure it out. What I might do is zoom into this clip a little bit more and then try to see, because I can't get that tick where I need it. That's because it's kind of stuck with that. I'm trying to think about, can I, oh, okay, yes. So you can go into here. This is nice. And maybe move the tick a little bit. It would be, I don't know how else to do that. Move the tick this way. So you can't see it when you're doing it, so it's like I don't know. That's a challenge for me. Let me zoom in further and see if there's a way I can just, there we go. I'll just move it that way. That'll be easier. So I'm gonna split right. Maybe I'll go in a little bit further just to be sure. Nah, that's fine. All right, so we'll split there. That's good enough for me. Now I need to zoom out without moving all this stuff. So we're gonna zoom out. And we're gonna go to each one and I'm gonna adjust accordingly. So we gotta use this. So I'm gonna go here and we're gonna edit. So I'm gonna go here and I will increase the volume. And then I like to go back and listen while I'm doing it. So. Okay, I'm gonna read your comments while I'm waiting on it. Now when you edit the page that you're on. Oh, okay, yeah, I forget about that. Hold shift. That's right, to just do smaller increments. Shift is everything, right? Shift in the jog wheel, the ER. Okay, cool. I mean, ER. Lord have mercy. Or the plus, minus or plus. Thank you. Having moments. ER. Definitely don't want to go there. Let's turn this up a little bit. And let's listen. I might turn this one, oops. Don't do that. Might turn that one up just a little bit, maybe one more notch. Maybe this one up. Oops. Play it from the beginning. sounds fine. I mean, it's not, there's mistakes, but like I always say, leave them mistakes alone. Let them exist. Let them exist is what I'm trying to say, because they exist for a reason. And we are going to touch there. Oh, we're going to touch there. Go back. Come on. Touch there, touch there. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna increase just this little part, maybe like 3. And then I'm gonna play it from there. Go up one more. Maybe go higher. Let's do 6. I like that. All right, cool, I'm satisfied. So that's, if you hold the corners of the audio, you always have options to fade in. Really? You know what? Let's try that now. I need to try that. Okay, so the corners. See, right now, all I'm noticing is that it's moving the audio. So do I need to be on a different tool? Top corner is fade. Okay, so why, when I look at this, do I need to zoom in to fade more? No, see, because every time I move something, it just moves the whole piece. Bottom is trim. Top is fade, bottom is trim. They definitely need to get some mouse support. I mean, it's there, but they need to release that and let that be. Because my hands touching this like this is going to move this stuff around too much. So I'm not sure. I would love to know what you mean by the fade. And okay, yeah, so an arrow appears. I know if you do that. So there's the arrows on the 2 sides. And then you say an arrow appears. Okay, so there are arrows, but the problem is these arrows that I see are arrows to move it left and right. Undo pointer. Okay, so which arrows are you saying in the edit window the arrows are? Or are you saying that that happens in the arranger window? I mean, technically we're in the arranger. I mean, is that happening in the grid or is it happening in this other window? Like if I close, because here's the grid here, right? And I could close this grid. You're saying in here, or you're saying in the actual grid, you can do it. Tap and hold the top corner. All right, I'm gonna go back into it. I'm gonna tap. Wow, I need to see this on video, I think, because when I tap, I do see an arrow, by the way. See, I can see an arrow there. My finger's too big for this. I can see, let me see if I can, hold on one second. This is a pin, so let me do this. So again, undo. See, there's the arrows. But all I'm seeing with the, oh Lord, what am I doing here? I'm just messing stuff up is what I'm doing. Try the pen tool. Tap and hold the corner, no edit window. Oh, no edit window. So you're saying in the regular window it's like that? Hold on. Now let's try it. Well, see, they have these little fades on it, so I'm going to zoom in closer to this one and see if I can see what you're talking about. If this is what you're talking about. So these have a fade. This little pen is about to tear the screen up. So it has a little fade. I see it there, right? If I zoom in, I can see there's a fade, a little corner off here. Are you saying that corner is what? They're going to have to work on that one. I'm going to have to be honest with you. There's no way I can move. I can't, like, even these little things here, they're going to have to make this. You definitely going to have a mouse for this. Because I can't imagine anybody with bigger fingers being able to touch this. And so you're saying, you're either talking about this window or the one I was just in. Now all of this is going to be bounced, is going to be placed down to one track. So let me just do that now because I'm going to mess this up if I don't. So let's get out of here, hold this down, and we're gonna flatten this track. Let me do that first. At least then it's one piece. If I jack it up then, right? It won't. So let's see here. See, this would drive me crazy. Watch this. Why do you gotta put all this extra over here? Now I got more work to do. Like that shouldn't be there. Then I have to shift. Oops, not shift. I have to go back into it. Then, oh Lord, have mercy. Go back here. I have to go back in and touch it, split it, and then erase this portion here, which is gonna be shift cut. Then go back up here and change the bars back to 16 and then exit out. So that's a bit much on the steps. It would be nice if they allow you to flatten it without that extra extended piece on there. I know why they're doing it, because they're probably doing it thinking, well, it's a tail in, but if there's no tail there, then just flatten the thing just as it is with 16 bars. Or at least let us adjust that. Yeah, I don't know, man. Luha, if you've been able to do it and you've been able to see the editing fader, I see a fade on each one of these. If you look right here, you see there's a corner that's nicked off on the end of it. I get that, but I have not seen where somebody actually went in and edit and actually was able to fade that out. Not saying it can't be done, but if it's doable, my goodness, it must be like extremely small fingers to do it. And if you go into it and you try to edit, so I'm at 16, right? Hold it down. There is an arrow that pops up there, right? I see that arrow. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that arrow is just to move the selection. I know you can reverse. I see down here you got reverse, you got mute, you got the whole overall level you can adjust. There's a fade. Oh, here you go, fade in and out. Look. Yeah, okay. I was about to say, I'm just keep poking this. It's right here. So yeah, I could see that where you could go fade out. I guess let's see, hold on a second. Let me see something here. Gotta touch it. Maybe you have to hold it and do it. No, it does say fade in and out, but I don't see it fade. I don't see a marker or anything showing me the fade in and out. But like you said, it is there. I mean, touch there, fade in. Yeah, no, it's not happening. Oh, you have to split. Oh, so you're saying when you split, you can use a fade in and out on the actual ones. It fades the start and end. Okay. I'll trust you on that. So when I'm splitting though, usually I'm only splitting to adjust the volumes on those, but I get what you're saying. I'll try that another time when I'm actually trying to fade something out. That's pretty cool to have, at least. But yeah, I'm only doing this just because I'm trying to put these tracks together, or I'm trying to get the volume levels all equaled out to a reasonable degree of where I want to hear it in my head. I guess that's kind of like, just like anything, you'd be editing on your DAW, right? So. I'm serious though. I think they should give us 16 tracks, 16 audio tracks. Because 8 is just, I mean, like if I want to push the boundaries, I can't go too much further with just 8. Think about it. I'm already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right on that. I only got 3 more. So anything else more than this, I'd be like, I wouldn't have any room. Oh, and I tried, and maybe it's possible to record over something. So in other words, if I've recorded, let's say, a track already, I went back and tried to overdub over it. What it does is it kicks the the metronome starter back a bar and then records over that, over the other portion of the track. So I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. Another quick way to do is to if fade starts in. Another quick way is to fader ride. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like do it, man. Do it while alive. See the section then flatten. Fader ride the section then flatten. Okay. The way so far it's been pretty good. Funk sample clearance for you. Tracks are the same as tracks are the same as gigs. Eight's not enough. We need. Oh yeah, I'm with you on that. Funk sample clearance for you. Oh, your name's not Funk. I won't be saying that name, but we'll just say sample clearance. There you go. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly that we need at least 16. Yeah, for sure. Partly because if you want to put, let's say you want a break in the song, um, and you want to do something different within the song, there's no way you're gonna have to make two different tracks. Now I don't know. I guess you could always do sequences is what they want you to do, but not everybody is sampling like that. I mean, and to sample back your own stuff, then play it back. I mean, it's cool for certain styles of music, but I think on other styles of music, you need a bit more stuff. And they put in what's weird is they put vocal effects in here in the MPC, and it's like, who's gonna really record vocals with only 8 tracks if that's all they got? I mean, they can't do. How much comping can you do? I guess you wouldn't be comping in an MPC, but if somebody wanted to do that, trigger in step sequencer, free up audio tracks. Trigger in step sequencer. What you mean? Oh, you mean like put some of your tracks onto, like maybe put them onto pads and then let them be, and then trigger them from like a MIDI track. I think each sequence has 8 audio tracks. I don't know about that unless that's something new. I don't think so on that one, Luha. I'm pretty sure they put only 8 in here. And they said it had to do with the RAM or something like that, could only hold so many. Because you only have 8 instruments is the max you could use. But let's say you're not using instruments. Then why can't you use that space that you're not using instruments for to actually have more audio tracks? Like I would be okay with freeing up the instrument space and actually just give me my more tracks. And then you could take some of the MIDI tracks too. Like if there's 128 MIDI tracks, I don't need 128 MIDI tracks. Okay, that's unrealistic. So just take some of the MIDI tracks, just give me some more space, all that extra space, and then you compensate, right? If you and then give me 8 more tracks. So maybe they will do that down the road. Um, okay, let me try it. I'm gonna try what you're saying. I'm gonna do it. Hold on. Let me go back here. We'll go. What do we do here? New sequence. They don't have it. Nope. So you just go over to a new sequence. I guess that's what you do. Just go over. Go to a new sequence. Have a look if the audio tracks are the same. All right. So go here, and back here. They're the same. They're the same tracks with the same names. They just don't have any clips, any audio on them. So if that's what you mean, you're right about that portion. But that's just because it's just the arranger. You can't. I don't think you could record. Yeah, that's true. You could record a different sequence if you wanted to, I guess. So I guess you're right about that. But my thought was if you stayed on the same sequence, and here you got to change. Obviously, you're gonna have to change the track tempo to do this too. But yeah, I guess that's valid points though. I can't knock that. I mean, you do have some validity there. But you can't change these names of these tracks. You see what I'm saying? So if you go, so watch, I'm gonna do what you just said. If you go over to sequence, that track still has to say chord because if you change it now to a different name, like in other words, if this isn't gonna be the chord track and I want to make it something different, then it's gonna change it for the other track too. They're locked in that essence. You just can use the same track to, I mean, I guess you could sit there and try to rename 500 different ways, go into song mode. So, I mean, even if you go even if you go into where's song mode on here? Even if you go into song mode, as far as I know, you're still only using the same tracks that you have on here. In other words, 8 audio tracks is still 8 audio tracks. Whether they're on different sequences or not, that's one thing. So you're right about that. And this is that you could use them on a different sequence and call it sequence 2, but it's gonna keep the same names. See, they're the same names here. Look at the track names; they're the same. Here, I'll go to the mixer. You cannot change those track names. These are all audio tracks. You only can have 8 total. So you see what I mean when I say that, you're not going to want to record over. And then if you take this mixer setting, let's say you have your bass setting here, but your other bass setting is going to be higher, you can't change these settings in here because you'll mess up your other stuff. So it's a little, I mean, in that essence, it's not like, this is not the most, you know, damaging thing to our lives. It's like not that big of a deal, but you are limited to only 8, and you can't be you can't be like, yeah, I'm gonna go jump over to another sequence and I'm gonna change all the effects that you're gonna lose all your other ones, right? That you had on there. So yeah, it's a little different. Automation, yeah, automation is amazing. I mean, it's great to have. You can automate a lot. I mean, it's cool to have those things, but it still don't change the fact that we need 16 audio tracks, and they should compensate if we don't use as many MIDI tracks. Because even when I take these drums and I drop them and I explode them, I think it's only using like four drums, because I only use 4 samples, right? So it's only four tracks, MIDI tracks. Macros are crazy. Macros are crazy, and in yeah, I mean they're in a lot of stuff too. If you're on iPad, you can use them. On here, they're useful. I mean, it's all those, they've made a lot of improvements. Look, there's 90% improvement to me that makes it worth having. The only thing is that I do enjoy recording to the audio tracks more, but that's just part of it. You sacrifice something. So the other option you could do is, if you weren't going to record in here your audio tracks, but you want to use the MIDI as a sequence in here, you could do that. You could do all your MIDI sequencing, like record all as many MIDI tracks as you want, and then send the MIDI out. Because I think I found it right here. You can save. Where is it? I know I saw it in here. Where's the MIDI? I know it says something about MIDI. Well, when you go, I think when you go save out your all tracks or whatever, I think you can save it out, save the MIDI. Oops, sorry about that. You save the MIDI, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I will say this: the Ableton Live did not work. Not on Ableton Live 12. I don't know if it's just not up to date and they need to fix that, but I sent it out and it did not keep any of the audio tracks. It didn't keep. It gave me a file. It crashed in Ableton. So I don't know if they're up to date and they just need to go. They need to go and update it or something. I don't know, but it did not work. But yeah, if you click all tracks, you can say export the MIDI as audio, or the MIDI pattern, or the MIDI itself. So you could export and then send that off to your DAW if you kept all your instruments in a row and just put the MIDI in place. But that's kind of pointless, because I might as well just record in the DAW at that point. I mean, I could just do it there, and it's like an extra step that I really don't need. Especially if I'm using instruments from the DAW. I mean, the idea is to do as much as you can here and finish. Let's see what you were saying. Merge the audio tracks to bounce guitar parts together. Yeah, you could, but when you're trying to mix and you're not mixing, unless you're gonna mix in here, in your case for sure, because you're mixing and doing everything in the MPC. But like if somebody wants to go out to somewhere else, you don't want to do that. You want everything separated so that you can mix it better. And I know for a fact I won't finish a mix. I mean, let me rephrase that. I'll finish the whole track in here, but I probably won't mix and finalize the track in here. partly because of this. So here's the mixer, right? I'm gonna go over. Here's your returns. Here's everything. When I get to the output, even when I go on effects, they don't have the effects that I want in here. There are effects, you could use them. They're just not the ones I personally would use. So like for me, I want a compressor limiter, but I don't like this compressor or limiter. It's okay, but it's not my favorite, right? And even these compressors and stuff like that, they're okay. But when you got something on desktop, I'm gonna go back to the desktop to finish the final mix. This is just gonna get me. What this is doing more than what I've done before, which is I never hardly did any of this. I would just be like, man, I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. I put some drums together, throw a sample, and then that'd be it. Now I'm getting to where I see myself completing a whole track in here. The only problem is I still don't see myself mixing in here. The VCA is decent. Okay. What do you use the VCA for? The PEQ2 is good. Okay. So what do you use that for? Let me go. I trust that you say it's good because you're in it all the time. So I believe you. So the two band, you saying the two bands shelf is good, but what do you use them for? Middle hole, hi-fi, cutting mids. Okay. And then the other one you said is the PEQ. Oh, you put that on your master. PEQ 60 hertz. Let's look at it. PEQ 60 hertz. So you're not using a preset. You're just dialing in exactly the way you want it. PEQ to 60 hertz. So you're just using it to dial the frequency that you want to do on the band. I got you. Just to boost. Okay, so I might try that one. I'll try that one. Well, we could try it now. What do you? I don't know. See, that's my thing is I don't mix this way, so I don't know. And I do a simple. I have a template set up in my DAW that I use that makes it so much easier. Fat bottom end. Okay. Post it. Okay, post. I know what that is. Yeah, style EQ. Okay. I will look at that some more and check that one out. I need to explore it a little more and play with it. I wouldn't be able to do it here because I have no clue. And then what was the other thing you said was good? The VCA. VCA is decent. Where is the VCA? Oh, no, that's not gonna be in there. What am I doing? That's the dynamics compressor. The compressor VCA, yeah. I knew what you were talking about. I just don't know why I was in the wrong thing. All right, so you just use this one. What do you do, like a medium compression or a hard compression or light? VCA compressor. Yeah, so you just do like a little light compression, or you probably dial yours in exactly the way you like it. Yeah, you dial it. I knew that. You probably do it. I really don't know how much compression. I usually use presets, I'll be honest, on compression because that's not my expertise, is that at all. That's a whole nother band where mixing is mastering and doing all that kind of stuff. That's not me. That's why I use a lot of presets to make it easier for myself because I'm more into the playing than I am actually doing all this extra stuff like mixing and stuff. But I'm gonna try to mess with it and see if I can come up with, if I can figure out something. Now, if I could figure out, or if somebody comes up with some presets that could be like, okay, this will make your master sound really good, and it kind of works across every board. You don't have to worry about too much movement. I'd probably be interested. But for me, like trying to figure out what I need, I can't always, I don't know. I don't have that skill set maybe to do that. I think that's what it is. I just don't have the skill set for it. That's my weakness. Yeah, you should do a video on that. Do a video on some basic uh use case for those things. Yeah, you can send over effects, right? Or you could send some, or you could do a video and just put on your video like if you want to, if you want your mix to sound like this, then use this for that or whatever. Little things like that will help too. Kind of help you figure out how to dial it in. But yeah, I'm the worst with mixing. I'm the guy that needs something that just that does it for you, because I understand the idea of what it's supposed to do, but I don't always execute it very well. Partly because I don't practice it enough, I guess. You know how once you get like your track where you want it and you like, okay, this is what I like. I know it's gonna work. I just use what I have that works and stick with it. So I don't explore the mixing aspect of it enough. And then when I have a little problem, I'm usually pretty quick and able to dial it in. And I also use the one thing I hope they get in here. They have a let's see, what is it called? They have EQs, okay, and they have the para EQ. But it would be nice if this thing was like a regular, like a dynamic EQ. I'd prefer it if they do that someday. Add a dynamic EQ. This thing here doesn't register with me. When I can see the wave on there and I can visualize it, it makes it easier for me to be more prone to use it. But I have to say this MPC has gotten so much better, and my only complaints now is little things they could tweak that could make it a little bit better and easier. And most of that has to do with the arranger, because that's where I like to work now. I'm kind of living in the arrangement view for most stuff. I don't even use EQ much, filters. Yeah, well, I don't use EQ much either. I'll be honest. I have a policy or a thing in my mind that says use the best instruments, and you don't have to do all that extra stuff. If you just have the good stuff, the quality sounding, they're usually EQ'd and fixed for you, and all you have to do is a little bit of panning, a little bit of adjusting of volumes and things of that nature. I don't use filters and distortions. Oh, I take that back. I do. I do use distortion. So I put a little distortion on my drums. I put a little distortion on the bass, but only just to. It's kind of more of a it's not really distortion. It's more like saturation. If that's kind of similar, but I guess. But I put a little saturation on the bass and on the drums, just to give it some. I'm gonna use the term warmth, and you use air tube. Okay. So I use in Ableton. I'm pretty much in Ableton, so I'm using like their roar distortion is really nice to fatten the bass sounds. And I used on the kicks. I use they have a drum kit enhancer for that roar, which is just saturation basically, little distortion, saturation. And then I put like Valhalla reverb, air reverb on it just to at the end of it, and that's it. So the Valhalla reverb and the air distortion, that's pretty much what I use on bass and drums. And then on guitar, I use an amp, like Amplitude 5, and then some delay, Valhalla delay. If you got those, I mean, that's all the sounds that you hear in this particular thing. That's what you hear. That's why I'm not even about to go in there and EQ nothing or do anything in the MPC. MPC is just their arranger and the sequencer, and it's good for also playing a keyboard. So that's kind of my vibe, or at least what I do with it. And then if I'm gonna sample stuff, I'll do that in the MPC too, the chopping. But yeah. Cool, man. Well, it looks like my phone is about to die. My iPad's gonna die at the same time. So I am gonna hop off here. Look forward to the next video. When I find some more things to talk about, I'll bring them in, show you guys some more stuff. And hopefully you got something to share too. So definitely try it out if you haven't already. You can always back out if you want to. But it's been fun. And I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there.